it's time to log in. LP Army will teach you the way to be LP warrior starting this day. We live for the fees we make. Soon it is profits that you will take. The LP Army marches strong. The best in Solana, we sing our song. We live for the fees we make. Soon it is profits that you will take. The LP Army marches strong. The best in Solana, we sing our song. We are LP Army, rise to the sky. Dynamic fees, our battle cry. LP warriors will never die. Bearable, we will fly. Rise, new soldiers, rise. Rise, new soldiers, rise. Spot, Cupid, ask, use them all. Winning's the task, we heed the call. Bootcamp, join our ranks so tight. Listen to the Goose Gang and gain your might. We will print and we will earn. Ways to gain as tokens burn. Join the ranks of the brave and bold. Story of the LP Army told. We are LP Army, rise to the sky. Dynamic feast, our battle cry. LP warriors will never die. Bearable, we will fly. Rise, new soldiers, rise. Rise. Take the course and earn your role. March with us and earn some soul. Dodge the rug and join the fight. We gain together LP Army might. Make your position and join the pool. Post your wins with Alex's tool. LP Army, we fight to win. Your journey is about to begin. We are LP Army, rise to the sky. Dynamic fees, our battle cry. LP warriors will never die. Bearable, we will fly. Rise, new soldiers, rise. Take the course and earn your role. March with us and earn some soul. Dodge the rug and join the fight. We gain together LP Army might. Oh!
GMet, good morning, evening, afternoon, everyone. It's good to see you. Welcome again to Bootcamp. This is Bootcamp number 14 in English for April 2025. It's good to have everybody here. And Photon, if you go to the next. So welcome. Here's the alpha. Today we're going to cover the basics, and the next lesson we'll cover more advanced topics. This is a reminder to everyone that this course is for educational purposes only. It's not going to grant you an airdrop. It's not going to get you extra Met points. It's not going to get you an NFT. There's no bonus other than the education. So there's there's no point in or if you think this is going to get you some free money, you're wrong. So anyway, yeah, Carrot, you did, but hit me up on Discord and we can share the link to the song. You can hear it any other time. But let's keep going. What's on next? And so actually, I'm going to turn this over. I'm Heavy Metal Cook, as you guys all know. But today, day one is going to be run mostly by Photon Magic. So this is his first go at this. I'm quite confident in my instructor here. So Photon, if you will take it away.
Sure. Hello, everyone. Let's get this started. All right. So, LP in crypto in general are a lot like gambling. To begin, do not start with money you cannot afford to lose. You figure out how much money you are willing to simply throw out the window, and that's how much you start with. Don't risk your hard-earned money to do this. And as you already know, this is not financial advice. Please do your own research. Okay, so start small. It doesn't require a lot to get started, really. Be prepared to lose. You are encouraged to lose because that's pretty much how you learn. Consider the losses, your tuition you pay for your LP training. Wait until you've lost and learn from it. Failure is one of the best teachers. While it can feel bad, it's pretty much your road to gains. When you're consistently winning, then you can progressively start upping and increase your investment sizes. This is me. This is pretty much me without eye bags and character. A little bit about me here. And these are the other instructors. There's quite a few great ones here. And some are here today to help me. Thank you very much, guys. Cannot do this without you. They'll be around here to answer any questions and add any additional context. They're all very experienced liquidity providers and have been around pretty much since the beginning. A special thanks goes out to the instructors. One of them here, Geek Lad and Otto, if he's here. Big thank you to you guys because I actually learned from you guys. All right. Please use the chat feature for your questions, but keep them to the point and concise. There are several great instructors watching, and they're all here to help. While doing these exercises, it's not required to graduate. We recommend that you do follow along, especially if you're new here and unfamiliar with what we're covering. Completing both days of this course is required to graduate. If you do not pass day 1, you will not pass day 2. If you've already passed day 1 on a previous bootcamp, then the only thing you need to do is day 2. We welcome all your feedback. And while we cannot incorporate everything there is to ever know, we welcome your suggestions. So let us know on Discord. This QR code is a link to the Bootcamp resources document. You can scan this with your phone, or if you're using a computer, you could go on Google Chrome and open Google Lens to scan it. All links to the forms in this course are shared with the QR code. This is not the graduation form, and we will show this again later in the course. This document has a lot of extra reading, links, helpful tools, people to follow on X that make pretty good educational content. All right, so by the end of today, you will know all these things. Today, we'll start with some of the basic definitions and key terms. We'll cover all the areas and functions available on Meteora, as well as cover a few basic third-party tools to help you. We will give you a tour of the platform and explain as many of the functions and features as possible, as well as demonstrate how to deposit into pools. All right, so here we go. AMM. AMM stands for Automated Market Maker. They're DeFi products that allow anyone to become a market maker on a blockchain. It is the protocol or platform where the market making is taking place. A liquidity provider, or LP, refers to the person or firm that is providing liquidity through the AMM. When traders swap through AMMs, they pay fees to the liquidity providers. This is all managed automatically by smart contracts on the blockchain and is non-custodial. Liquidity providers in AMMs profit from earning fees on the liquidity they provide in the liquidity pools. There are many different AMM protocols on different blockchains. On Ethereum and other EVM blockchains, there's Uniswap, SushiSwap, PancakeSwap, Trader Joe, and a few others. On Solana has Meteora, of course, Orca, Radium, Saber, and a couple of others more that I don't know about. LP can also stand for liquidity pool. You may also see the term LPing, which means to provide liquidity. You'll learn to figure out the usage based on the context. On to CLMM. CLMM stands for Concentrated Liquidity Market Maker. It allows liquidity providers to concentrate their liquidity within a certain price range. Concentrated liquidity helps LPs earn more fees by specifying a price range in which liquidity will be provided. It also helps traders because it will reduce the price impact of their trades in the liquidity pools. Uniswap version 3 was the first to introduce this concept on the ETH chain. Radium and Orca on Solana operate the CLMMs. Here are some graphical examples of these concepts. In a standard AMM, liquidity is spread out over the entire range, putting only a small amount within the current price range, leaving the rest to be idle. It does have the advantage of not requiring any maintenance by the liquidity provider, but you earn less fees per dollar. A CLMM style pool allows the liquidity provider to put more or all of their tokens at or near the current trading price, and often, oops, sorry, it's my mouse moved. Where was I? Shoot. Let me start over because a CLMM style pool allows the liquidity provider to put more or all of their tokens at or near the current trading price, and none or much less on the fringes. This allows you to generate more in fees. It does have the disadvantage of missing out on any fees when the price of the token swings higher or lower than your specified range. You're more likely to experience what I refer to as impermanent loss when all your tokens have been swapped for the other and you're out of range. When you withdraw out of range, those losses become permanent. So try not to do that. LP is not staking. It is not trading either, though it shares some of the same results in some ways. Do not be surprised when you deposit into a pool and tokens get swapped for the other. This is the nature of it. In one sense, you are trading, but not exactly. You are willing to swap back and forth from one token to another, and you may even hope to sell all or one token for the other, or not. You might think of this similar to someone who sells produce. Just like produce can go rotten, the demand and volume for a token can drop very quickly. Some meme coins are like produce, and you don't want to be holding them when they go rotten. You will want to learn how to manage your risk. Expect that a token will eventually run to zero. Not all do, but many will. And assuming this is the rule will help you in the long run. There are safer things you can LP with, but they are longer term with smaller gains. Basically, the smaller the risk, the smaller the potential gain. The larger the risk, the larger the potential gain. Risk is the key point here. The risk being that you will lose it all. TVL, volume and volatility, are explained here as you can see. So TVL is total value locked. The volume is how much trading is going on. And the volatility is how much the price is moving. When you click a button to perform a swap on the AMMs, by the time you click that button and your request is received by the blockchain validator and processed, the price may be different than when it was when you first clicked the button. This is known as slippage. When you swap through an AMM, you are causing the mix of assets in the pool to shift and the price of the assets to change. If the amount of liquidity in the pool is high relative to your swap, then your swap will have little price impact. If you swap through a small pool that does not have a lot of liquidity relative to your swap will have a high price impact and cause the price to change a lot more. Market cap, sometimes called MC or MCAP, is calculated simply by the total number of tokens by the current price. Okay, vaults. Meteora Dynamic Vaults is DeFi first dynamic yield infrastructure, where the vaults rebalance every minute across lending platforms to find the best possible yield while prioritizing keeping user funds as accessible as possible. So here I will pass over to HMC and he's going to demo you some vaults.
Thanks, Photon. So yeah, we're gonna show you guys a few things actually. I'm on app.meteora.ag and we're gonna go out here to the vaults. So dynamic vaults are this is a basically think of it as lending. Using various protocols such as Camino, Save, you can deposit money into here, and you will earn an APY on this. Although I don't recommend you actually deposit money here, I just wanted to show you guys what these vaults were. There's a way to use the vaults and earn this API without actually depositing here. But and the reason why I say don't put your money necessarily here, I mean, you can if you want. You will earn a little bit of money, and it's pretty safe place to put it. You will not earn any points for anything that you deposit into these vaults. saying that again, you won't earn any MET points for any deposits in here. But if you did, it's fairly simple. You can just, enter some money here and click deposit, and that's it. And you'll earn return on it. It's fairly simple, not complicated. But yeah, what we want to do though next is actually show you dynamic pools. Were you ready for that, Photon? Move on to dynamic pools.
Yes, we're ready. It's just
Okay.
demoing the vaults part, demoing the dynamics.
Right.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
I think after vaults was dynamic pools.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm here on dynamic pools tab. This is fairly simple. Here you can search for the name of any token. If you were just to say, if you were to type Trump, you could find any pools with that name in there. You can also put a contract address, a CA. You can also have it make a suggestion on any tokens that you may have in your wallet. But I am going to demo for you or talk about a few things here first. Anything that you see here with the little Meteora logo, it was created by Meteora. Anything that does not have that was created by something else. Dynamic pools are permissionless. Anybody can make one. So keep that in mind. Just because a pool exists doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good one. Anybody can make one. You will see under type, it will list the type. Like, for example, USDC, USDT. This is a stable pool, and it's dynamic. This one, MAGA USDC, you see that it's listed as a meme pool. And here, Sol, MSOL, important parts here. It's an LST or liquid staking token, and it says that it's stable. Now, that may confuse people that this is not two stable coins. Why is this stable? Well, it's stable because of correlation. The price of MSOL is tied to the price of SOL. If SOL pumps way up to $200, MSOL is going to follow it. If it dumps down to $80, MSOL is going to follow it. So any LST and SOL pair are considered stable. Keep that in mind. Just like BTC, two versions of that, it's considered stable. Anyway, there's a lot of information here. You can see the TVL. This is the total amount of money deposited into this pool. You'll see the 24-hour volume here. That's how much money has run through, how much in trades has run through this pool in the last 24 hours. And that's a rolling 24 hours. And then, of course, the yield. But going into the USDC, USDT, feel free to follow me along here on your own. You will see the liquidity allocation here first, the two tokens, and you will notice that it is not 50-50. And this is important to know. It's like some other pools, it's going to depend on what the market is doing. So more people have been selling their USDT. So that's why there's more in this pool. So it's not a 50-50 ratio. And then here you'll see the current pool price, the virtual price. Now the virtual price, this 1.18, blah, blah, blah. This can be a confusing number, and trying to explain the virtual price, it takes a little bit longer than we have time for in this course, but there are links in the Bootcamp resources that we showed earlier, and we will show again, that explains this in detail. But I can tell you the general rule of thumb that you want to see is something above 1. If it's above 1, then it's not good. It's not earning. Here, the 24-hour volume. So again, that's how much in trades have happened in the last 24 hours. 24-hour yield. Okay. Here, $502.30 in the last 24 hours of yield. What is that? That yield is coming from the lending vaults. Okay. You have your 24-hour fee. That's how much has been generated in fees distributed amongst those who have a deposit here. That's the fees earned. The yield is from the lending vault. So whenever you deposit into a dynamic pool, you have, if you have one or more of the tokens that are in the vault, that money is also lent out to those lending protocols in the vaults. And so you're earning yield on that. So this is a great way to earn from two places. You earn money from the vault and off of fees all in the same place. So that's why I was saying earlier, you don't necessarily want to put your money in that vault because A, you're not earning points and you could be earning more using this. The liquidity provider fee. So this is how much is being charged on any trades that come through this pool. That's what you, the liquidity provider, are earning. You'll list a, you'll see a protocol fee, and on this specific pool, it's 0%. On other dynamic pools, such as meme coins or whatever, it can be considerably higher. You'll have to look at each one to what it is. Down here we have something, the AMP or AMP, and this is also an extremely complicated one to talk about. It's in the documentation and the Bootcamp resources. You can look at that on your own. So yeah, pool address mint, that's not that important, but here you can see links to charts for well, we have Bird Eye, Gecko, Terminal, Dex Screener, Dex Tools, and GMGN. That's my personal favorite. If you click on any one of these, it's going to take you to a charting tool for this specific pair. So anyway, moving on, we'll see up here the yield, the base APY, blah, blah. Let's make it a deposit. Okay. Now, when you deposit into a dynamic pool, you really want to make a balanced deposit. And so, like, let's say that I want to do, I have $24 of USDC and I want to do the maximum amount. It's automatically going to want to make it match this ratio, right? So I would need $88 in USDT in order to make that balanced deposit. Well, I don't have that much. So let's say I do all my USDT. So that's $35 in USDT and $9 in USDC. Well, what if I don't want to do that? Well, I turn off balance deposit here, and it's going to give me a warning about this, that you should always make a balance deposit. What happens if you do make an imbalance deposit? Let's say I want to put in just $5 of USDT. What's going to happen? Well, what's going to happen is the pool is going to automatically swap however much USDT it takes into USDC to match this ratio. It's not 50%, 50-50. It's going to match that. So just for giggles, you guys don't need to do this part, but I'm going to deposit $5 of USDT. And so you can see here, I lost a little change doing that. But whenever I go here to withdraw, and I click on this, you will see that I have $1 in USDC and 3.9 in USDT. So it made that swap. It made it match these percentages. Any fees and yield that you earn while you have this money in here are going to be automatically compounded back into the pool. You cannot claim these fees separately. It's just, like I said, it's auto compounded. To know how much you have earned, basically what you need to do is math. You need to know how much you deposited, and then you can come and see what's the value of what I can withdraw. And you just have to do that math to find out, are you profitable or are you not? Now, one thing that's important to note, the dynamic pools, when you make a deposit into a dynamic pool, it's going to generate an LP token. It's not an NFT. It's a little LP token. You don't want to burn this token. You don't want to lose this token. If you do, you won't be able to withdraw your liquidity. Dynamic pools have this. DLMM does not. They don't generate that. But that's just a little FYI. So I'm going to make a withdrawal here. I'm going to draw my money back out. But that's it for the USDC USDT pool. And I'm just gonna pick something else here. Let's see. Actually, I want to show one that has. Let's just go into this one for fun. We'll see here this MAGA USDC. Here at the top, you can see, you notice it's got this little warning triangle on it. You'll see this on anything that is not listed on Jupiter's verified list. So that's what that means. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a rug, but we recommend that you check anything. And there's a handy little link right here that you can click. It'll take you to the rug check for this token and the bubble maps. You can, of course, copy the CA and do whatever research you need to on your own. Here, the dynamic fee is set by the protocol. This particular one, the dynamic fee is currently 0.25%. And the protocol fee on this is 0.05%. On dynamic pools, when there is a protocol fee, it's 20% of the dynamic fee. Not all dynamic pools have this protocol fee, and it's considerably less on the DLMM, but just know that this is what there is, and that's what you're paying. So let's see. Let me go back here to pools. There's LST pools. These are not permissionless. They're all created by Meteora. They have special setups on them. The math is complicated on this, but they do this to make these more efficient and operate correctly. You'll also see pools with farms. So these are all still dynamic pools, but they can have rewards in a farm. Sol v Sol, if you were to make a deposit in here, after you have that deposit, you would go to the link for the farm, and then you would see here where you can deposit your LP token into this farm. Now, farms like this farm wouldn't earn any additional points or anything. It's just a way to earn bonus rewards on top of any fees that you've earned. Now, the thing that's important to note about that is whether or not there's actually any rewards currently being given. In the case of Sol v Sol, we see here weekly rewards, 2 million. So every week, up to 2 million of these VP PT or vault points are issued out to those who have deposits in here. And it's broken down how much, the more that liquidity or the more that you provide, the more share of that you're going to get. But you'll notice a lot of these others don't have anything in them, no rewards. This one's got some rewards. This one's got some rewards. But if there's nothing listed, then that pool is currently not giving out any rewards. These are not set up. They're not. The tokens for rewards is not done by Meteora. It's done by the particular token project itself. So it's incumbent upon them to provide those rewards. If they choose to stop or they just don't refill it, then nothing else is being added into that. So that's how that works. Let's see. I cover everything on that. Going back to pools. There's a thing of multi-token pools. I've never actually seen anyone ever put any money into it, but it's just pools that have multiple tokens in them. It's not very common. So let's see. Sultan, did I miss anything?
Nope. So far, you're the GOAT, man.
Okay. All right. So I think we're ready to pass it back over to you to continue. Share your screen again. How's that?
Yep, we're back on. All right, so on to DLMM. In one sense, it's similar to concentrated liquidity market makers, but offers additional features and enhancements. It is these additional features that give you, the liquidity provider, an advantage to be more profitable over the other CLMM type products. Some of the most important are the dynamic fees, flexible liquidity deployment strategies, and the ability to provide single-sided liquidity. Liquidity is placed in bins, which we will discuss next. We will also cover these additional features as we go along. Sorry about the dogs if you hear them. What is a bin? This is a very important and a bit complicated question where most people get hung up on. So I'll do the best. A bin is, in most simplest terms, a container that holds liquidity. It can contain an infinite amount of any one or two tokens or none at all. Only one bin can be active at a time, and only the active bin can have both assets. A bin may contain one token or two different tokens. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. Yeah, it was doubled. A bin may contain one token, two tokens, or none at all. Once created, bins exist on the blockchain forever and cannot be destroyed. Always remember that. Bins are set at specific price points and cannot change. They do not move and remain in their respective price points. As such, when you place liquidity into a bin, you do not own the bin. You very likely are sharing the bin with all the other liquidity providers who have placed their liquidity into the same price range. As you can see on the example, the colored area shows your liquidity. This example shows two different tokens. The bins to the left of the current price are all one token. In this case, WBTC. WBTC. All the tokens to the right of the current price are the other token, CBBTC. Only the bin at the current price where the trading is currently happening can contain both tokens. The gray area below your liquidity represents the liquidity of everyone who is deposited into these bins, yours and everyone else. As trades happen, the tokens in the current bin only will be exchanged from one token to the other, and you earn fees on these trades in the token that is being swapped for. All trades that happen within a single bin do not suffer from price slippage, which makes the trade more attractive to go through your pool. The price of the token will not move up or down until all of the token in the bin is exchanged for the other. Once this happens, the price will move to the next bin. A bin step, in its simplest terms, is the difference in price between any two consecutive bins. With Meteora, there are many different sizes of bin steps, and there are reasons for the various sizes, which we will explain in a bit. Bin steps translate into basis points, which is essentially a decimal representation of a percentage. Here is the mathematical breakdown in an example of a one bin step pool. One bin step means 1 basis point, or 0.0001. To calculate the price of the next bin higher, we take the current price and multiply it by 1 and the basis points. This example is 1.0003, the current price, multiplied by 1.0001, the bin step, to equal a new price of 1.0004. To calculate a bin step lower, you just divide instead of multiply. In our example here of 50 bin steps, we calculate by multiplying the price by 50 basis points. If it were 200 bin step, we would use 1.0200. Okay, let's break this down further. Here are some examples of possible bin steps, though there are many more to choose from. You may notice the pattern here of how the bin step translates into basis points, which is used in the calculation. You won't really need to do this calculation when providing liquidity, but it's important to understand what it means, as it can help define the width of your liquidity range you want to or can provide. As we see here, a larger bin step can cover more price range with a single bin than a smaller bin step can. It only took 2 bins to cover the price between 169 and 169.25 with the larger bin step, versus 8 bins to cover the same price range with the smaller bin step. There are reasons and advantages and disadvantages to using any particular bin step, which we will go into. What bin steps are possible on a particular pool is defined in the part by the base fee set on the pool. Not all bin steps and base fee combinations are possible. As a general rule, the larger the base fee, the larger possible bin step. Or you could say the smaller base fees require a smaller bin step. These are just a few examples of possible combinations of bin steps and fees possible for those bin steps. It's important to remember the smaller the bin step, the more concentrated your liquidity will be versus larger bin steps, assuming the same number of bins are used in both. Okay. A lower bin step means these price points are closer together. This allows for frequent trades because the price can move more smoothly and continuously through the bins. More frequent trades mean more opportunities to earn fees. Each trade generates a small fee for liquidity providers. So more trades equal more fees. A lower bin step pools provide a smoother experience for traders too. They face smaller price changes between trades, making trading more predictable and attractive. It's probably why low bin step pools get favored by Jupiter. DLMM also has dynamic fees. This is akin to surge pricing. When volume is high and so as demand is high, fees get higher up to a maximum of 10% in total. Dynamic fees are triggered when the price is dynamic. So the more bins it moves across to get from price A to price B, the higher the dynamic fee. Again, this is why choosing a low bin step is important. Large bin steps offer you the convenience and typically used for more volatile tokens. However, you can still cover the same range with the same capital in a small bin step pool. It will just be split up across multiple positions and divided into smaller bins. For example, the large bin step pool will split $200 USD worth of assets into two bins from the price 169 to 169.25, each containing 100 USD. The low bin step pool will split the same 200 worth of assets into 8 bins that cover the same range, 169 to 169.25, each containing $25. Both cover the same range with the same capital. One performs better. Why is it blurry? HMC, you're seeing this?
Try going back one and then there you go.
Yeah, I figured it out. Thanks.
You got it.
All right. One of the main advantages the DLMM has over the other CLMMs is the ability to shape your liquidity with strategies. You can use one strategy or even combine these strategies to shape your liquidity to suit you and your goals for any particular pair. The spot strategy is the most common and basically exactly like depositing into a CLMM. It works for pretty much anything. When in doubt, use spot. Curve is perhaps the least used strategy because it focuses more of your liquidity into a smaller price range. Very common with stables or things where the price doesn't move very much. You still have some liquidity on the edges, so you capture fees on the price swings. But generally, you are expecting or hoping to maximize any trades happening in this very tight price range. Bid-ask is quite popular option, especially when providing one-sided liquidity. It employs, in a way, one of the most basic ideas of trading: buy low, sell high. When swaps happen, you are trading or buying more of the token at lower prices, or selling more of the other token at higher prices. This is similar to DCA, which is dollar cost averaging. Here are some basic examples how you can stack multiple strategies together. Employing the spot and curve strategy is a means to focus your liquidity into a range where you think most of the price action is going to happen, but also leaving some liquidity on the outside to capture during the price swings. So a base layer of spot with a second deposit of curve on top of it. In the second example is one of where we laid down a base layer of spot and added a bid-ask on top of it. The disadvantage of bid-ask is when the price is in the valley. You have very little liquidity there, so you aren't earning much. This base layer of spot ensures that you are still generating some amount of fees in that area. One thing that is very important to understand is the difference between a DLMM pool and a DLMM position. Your position or positions are what you deposit into a pool. You can create and remove positions. Pools exist forever and cannot be destroyed. Pools are non-custodial and are owned by no one. Quick quiz: who knows the maximum number of bins you can have on a single position in any pool? Let's see someone answer that. To start LPing, you have to hold one or both of the assets. Therefore, you need to aim to sell what you bought as a profit, at a profit. Once it has diverged in your favor from your entry. However, unlike regular trading, you earn fees for LPing. Utilize both methods to calculate profits. Sometimes you earn enough fees but sell what you bought at the entry at a loss, but still achieve a profit. Ideally, you might withdraw at or near the same price at which you entered, and this is good. Other times, the position moves out of range and in the positive. You have now sold what you bought at a profit and earned fees. This is often called positive divergence. DLMM is a tool. As a tool, use it to manage your risk according to your risk appetite, which mine is 0. Sometimes It's better to LPs. Sometimes it's better to just buy and hold. So the choice is yours. This can be a complicated topic to explain, so we will touch on it and provide you with some links to other resources that go into more depth. When you provide liquidity, traders are swapping both of your assets back and forth through a liquidity pool. When this happens, the price changes and it changes the allocation of your assets within the pool. Basically, this means you will have more of one asset and less of the other. Frequently, you hear this called impermanent loss, but it is more accurately called divergent loss. Divergent loss happens when the relative price between your deposited assets in a liquidity pool changes compared to when the deposit was first deposited. This is the nature of LP and basically guaranteed to happen. In other words, you lost more than if you had simply held, or that you gained less than you could have just by holding. The bigger the change, the more you will experience divergence loss. But this does not necessarily mean your LP position has lost value. Assets that remain relatively stable with a small price fluctuations are less subject to divergent loss, such as USDC and USDT, which typically stay in a tight price range. Stablecoin pools are significantly less risky when it comes to divergence loss. The goal of a successful LPing is to generate sufficient fees to cover those losses. If you are able to close your position and end up with more of both tokens than you started with, then you've achieved the goal of gains. The chart here is a common one shown to explain divergent or impermanent loss, and explaining the math involves Greek letters and more complex math than what we're going to do here. The Bootcamp resources provide links to more in-depth info on that. Here's a small example. This is where the position started with almost 40 USDC and about 0.25 of SOL. You can see after how it ended up after a while. The position lost 0.056148 SOL, and the position gained 9.57 USDC. The fees earned were 6 cents. The initial value is 81.60. The ending value is 81.84. And the divergence is positive 24 pennies or USDC. Total fees, the total profit of fees and divergence is of 30.30 USDC. The terms divergent and impermanent loss can sound quite scary to some, especially if you are new and knowing the fact that it's basically guaranteed to happen when providing liquidity anywhere. You're always hoping to collect enough fees to not only overcome the divergent loss, but actually profit. To break down two ways to achieve profit, here is the first method. You simply earn more in fees than you lost due to divergent or impermanent loss. These losses are inevitable due to the nature of providing liquidity. It's all about getting enough in fees to offset this plus earn a profit. To accomplish this, you need to keep in mind some factors when selecting something to LP with. Is there enough volume or trades on the market to make it worth it? Volume can come and go depending on the time of day when most trades are the active. This can be impacted by many things: weekends, holidays, market conditions, and so on. The amount of liquidity in the pool or TVL. When there is plenty of liquidity in a pool, it increases the chance of trades being routed through that pool. If a pool has low TVL, it won't get much, even if the market is hot and there is a lot of trading volume. Volatility, which again is the frequency of the token going up and down in price, the more a token moves back and forth, the better for you. You earn more fees, and the higher dynamic fees may also apply. Positive divergence loss is fairly simple and what most LPers eventually hope for when providing liquidity for two tokens where they wish to eventually only hold one of them, such as SOL and some meme coin. You don't really want to keep the meme, you rather have the SOL. If the price of the meme pumps up and beyond your range, you will left with all SOL, and you should be in profit. Plus, you have earned the good fees that come along the way. All right, here's a demo. So I will transfer over to HMC and he will take care of you. HMC, you're there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Just getting my thing ready. Okay,
right.
So now we're going to show the DLMM. All right. So here I am. DLMM pools, again, just like with the others, you can search by CA or tokens that you may have in your wallet already, or just by the name. You can see here, just like on dynamic pools, you've got the TVL 24-hour fee, but now they've added this function where you can say, show me just what's happening in the last 30 minutes. Same with the fees. You could say me what's happening in the last 12 hours, 4 hours, whatever. So I can sort by that and you'll see these things. Now, something that you want to keep in mind here is this number here on the 24-hour fee. This can be misleading. This number can be greatly impacted by people entering or exiting the pool. So if, for example, here on this Fartcoin pool or pools, if a whole bunch of people or a whale enters this pool, then this number is going to change drastically, right? Because they've increased the calculation is the TVL, the amount of fees earned divided by this, or the DV, whatever. It's calculated this way. So if a bunch of people add liquidity there, that number is going to go way down. If a bunch of liquidity is removed from that pool, it can cause that number to shoot up. So take that with a grain of salt, that number there. But we can see here on Fartcoin Soil, there's 65 pools. When I click to expand that, it's going to show me 3 different recommended pools. These are just recommended pools. You can still click show all and see all of them. And we can see there's a whole lot of Fartcoin pools here. And I would warn you that, you're looking at these. If a pool is empty, there's probably a good reason for that. It's probably not a very good pool. Again, anybody can create a pool. Even if you have no idea what you're doing, you can create one. We will see here listing the bin step and the base fee for each one of these pools, the TVL. And so what are you picking here? Well, we're going to get more into what you would choose these, but let's go into this 80 bin step and 0.8% fee pool. Let's see, like I don't want to pick this one right here. You can see bin step 15.5%, but it's got almost no TVL in it. This is right here. So likely there's been a withdrawal here out of that pool. I'm going to go with the 80 bin step and 0.8%. Now, just to give you a little tour here, really quick, of the DLMM. Again, you have your little buttons here where you can go and click to do a reg check on that particular token, or the bubble maps, whatever. We'll get into those. And actually, let's do it. Let's just go ahead and do a rug check on Fartcoin. And yep. So here we go. So we can see, Fartcoin, risk analysis, name mismatch, symbol mismatch. All right. That might still be okay, because this is the correct Fartcoin. But again, bin step, base fee. This is the minimum that you're going to earn off any trades that come through here. There is the max fee, which is always 10%. That never changes. That's the most this fee can ever be. That'll be relevant here in just a second. The protocol fee. This is the amount charged by the protocol, aka Meteora, on any trades. And this is 5% of the dynamic fee. Okay. So dynamic fee here listed, it's at 0.8%. The dynamic fee is defined by the volatility of the token, that the up and down. So the more up and down, back and forth of trading on this, it's going to increase that dynamic fee. And that helps you, the liquidity provider, help recover your impermanent or divergent losses. So that's a good thing. Currently, there is not really any volatility on this particular token, so we don't see anything. The dynamic fee is the same as the base fee. So that's why we see our protocol fee is at 0.04%, which is 5% of this right here. 24-hour fee, this is how much in fees this particular token has earned in the last 24 hours, and it's a rolling 24 hours. We'll see right down here at the bottom, the trading volume. This is how much volume has run through this pool in the last 24 hours. And there's a handy little chart that you can just hover to see the history of what's been happening. So we can see April 1st, over 1 million. April 2nd went down a little bit. And then April 3rd, 1.5 million. And it's dropped way off. And of course, weekends tend to do that. Of course, other market conditions can also impact that too. So we'll see here your liquidity, current pool price. You can swap this to see how much fart coin versus SOL. It doesn't impact how the pool works. This is just a visual representation. We will demo some of this, or we'll talk about some of this here in a bit, but we want to make a deposit, right? And I am, for simplicity's sake, going to do a two-sided deposit. Well, I don't own any fart coin, so I'm going to use this handy Jupiter app down here in the bottom left-hand corner. I'll just click this. This is swapping on Jupiter. Now, why use this versus swapping directly into the pool? Well, the reason for that is because Jupiter is always going to give me the best price. So let's just say I'm going to go really small here. I'm just going to do 0.1 SOL, turn that into fart coin. Okay. So now I have some SOL and I have some fart coin. I'm going to add some liquidity here. If you use the autofill button, it's going to automatically match the amounts here. And you will see I'm going to use this handy little slider on the price. You notice whenever I slide this, the amounts changed here, how much that I'm putting in. So I'm here, I changed it to a whole lot less SOL. The price down here. So there's that will change these autofill. So here we go. Let's see, right here in the middle ish. Now, doing pure spot, this is just like depositing into a CLMM or a concentrated liquidity market maker. Remember that. It's basic. Spot always works no matter what, period. It's always going to be good for any type. We're not necessarily good, but it's going to work. I'm going to change this down just so that I don't use up all my fart coin at once. So just a basic spot strategy here. Scrolling down, I can see here, okay, this is the liquidity that I want to deposit. Down here, you will see this is everybody else's liquidity within this particular pool. When you hover over it, you can see how much is in this pool overall. It'll even give you a percentage of how much that you have deposited or how much you would be depositing into this pool. You've got the minimum price. So this is the price of the lower end of my range, the lower end of these bounds. Same with the maximum price. That's the highest. If you want to define your minimum price, you certainly can. You just change that number right in there, and it'll adjust it accordingly. Same with the max price. Or you can say, hey, I would like to define this percentage, and it'll adjust that accordingly. Now you'll see here the number of bins. It changed the number of bins based off of what I defined in this price range, but the default is 69. So I'm just going to reset this here. I'm going to go back with my autofill. 5 fart coin. Here we are. So let's just say I wanted to make this deposit within this particular price range. 69 bins. I'll go the full range on this. So now I'm ready to add liquidity, but wait, what's this? There's a cost here. It's this SOL needed to create one positions, 0.05 blah, blah SOL. And then it's refundable here. Okay, great. What does all that mean? I'm going to click on the show cost details to give me the breakdown of what this is. So positions needed for 69 bins, just one position. That rent says 0.06, or they're rounding up there. And then the transaction fee to do that. This is an important thing that you need to pay attention to. because this could be quite different. I'm just going to make a very extreme example to show this. 324 bins. This would actually create 5 positions because, again, 69 bins is the maximum for any one position. You can create multiple positions in one go. So I would need to create, well, it's even gone down less than that. This would cost me this much in Sol to create those 5 positions, which I'm not going to do. Okay, 0.99. Here we go. So to create all these, there's now I could see a non-refundable cost here. What is that? So what I would be doing here is I would be depositing liquidity into this pool, into a price range where no liquidity has ever existed before. That's going to require bin arrays. All right. So we need 12 of my bins require new bin arrays. These are done on the blockchain. Bin arrays are not destroyable. Therefore, they are not refundable. And they cost this much, 0.07 Sol per bin array to generate. Now, the great thing is once it's created, that's it. Anybody can use those bin arrays. But if you're the first person to put liquidity down there, then you got to pay this. So pay attention here. We see people saying, hey, I made a deposit. I didn't get 0.07 Sol or 0.14 Sol back when I closed the position. Why? That's why. So pay attention to what you're doing there. Anyway, we'll go back again. Hopefully I'm not losing anybody here. Okay. And I'm just going to add this liquidity. Very simple spot strategy. Okay. So you can see I've got my one position here. It's showing me my price range, how much I've deposited. It even shows a handy little deal right here of what my liquidity looks like at this particular time. So there you go. That's the simplest spot. I'll see up here how much liquidity I've got, my current balance for each. If I was to click right here on total liquidity, it's going to change these amounts from the US dollar amount into Sol. So this is how much this is worth in Sol. And how much my liquidity is in Sol. So I'm going to switch back to US dollars. I probably could have picked something that was maybe getting a little bit more action because we're not earning any fees right now. But I'm going to, for sake, we're going to show the other types. So I'm going to select curve here. And I'm just going to, again, I'm going to go very small here. This is not something that I would actually use on this particular pair. I would use this probably on something that's a lot more stable, such as Sol and a LST or stables, 2 stable pairs. But basically here I'm concentrating my liquidity in this price range. Maybe I think that it's going to stay in this range right here for a while. So I want to put my liquidity where it's going to earn the most money. That's why I would do that or use this type. It's obviously the least used of any type out there, but you know what? I'll just burn my money here and set this in here. Okay, so now I've got 2 positions. And then for the bid ask, it's again very simple. Bid ask, I set this, and you can see when the price stays in this area right here, I'm not going to be earning very much in fees. But when it gets down here, I'll be buying more fart coin at lower prices. And if it goes up here, I'll be selling more fart coin at higher prices. This is ideal. Now, someone asked, let's see a stack strategy. Okay. So your simplest stack strategy here, I'm going to put in a base layer of spot. Okay. Now I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to put in some fart coin into bid ask. And so we can see right here, simple as that. I add that liquidity. And there's not that additional position rent when you're adding to the position. It's only the charge for the position itself. So anytime you add more to an existing position, all you're paying is just the transaction fee for that. So we can see here, I've got 3 positions, a pure spot, I've got a pure curve, and then I've got here a mix of spot and bid ask. Let's see. So let's see some questions here. Is it possible to create a pool with a range that is outside the current price and current range pool minimum price? So, well, so there's a difference. Again, creating a pool and creating a position are 2 very different things. The pool itself does not define the price range. Creating the position is what's defining that price range that you're depositing the liquidity. And yes, you can do these things. It, depending on the bin step, will define how many bins it will require for you to do that. If you're going so wide with these, like 50% to 150%, that's going to create a lot of bins or require a lot of bins to do it. So anyway, a few other things that I want to show you here. You have this button right here, liquidity slippage and swap slippage. This swap slippage is if you are using this swap function right here within the pool itself. This swap function swaps within this pool itself. It does not swap out on Jupiter. So you may or may not be getting the best price. Most people generally don't do this particular swap thing, but you know, whatever, it's a thing. You should be familiar with swap slippage using Jupiter. It's the same concept, how much you're willing to accept for any slippage. Your liquidity slippage is a wholly different thing. And this is how, so whenever you deposit into a pool, by the time you hit add liquidity and the transaction actually lands on the blockchain, well, prices can change, right? The token could have dumped, it could have pumped. That moves your initial deposit, that price point, it's going to move. That's called the liquidity slippage. Here you can define how much of that slippage you're willing to accept. And some people may not want very much. If it exceeds that slippage, the transaction will fail and your deposit won't go through. You can bump that up or you can set a custom amount. This is particularly important on like fresh memes, things that are very volatile. If it's swinging back and forth, up and down very, very quickly, you may need to increase your liquidity slippage, again, to whatever degree that you're comfortable with going with. A lot of your hardcore degens will set really high amounts here because they care less about where it enters. They just want to get into the pool and get in quickly. So you can set that there. Let's see here. Man, this thing is really not earning anything. You would see here on this particular column the 24-hour fee over TVL. Right here, it's showing nothing on these because, again, we're not getting any trades. But this percentage will show the performance for your particular position there. It's got nothing to do with that number, really. They may be close, depending, but you'll have that there. Let's see. Okay. All right. Now let's show a withdrawal. So we're going to go here, and then the withdrawal functions. So let's say that, I'm done with this. I've earned my money. I've earned some fees, whatever. I'm going to go withdraw. Well, you have a lot of options on the withdrawal. You can withdraw all, and the default is 100% of both tokens. Take all the liquidity out of here. You can change that to some percentage. You can set that to whatever percentage you would like. And you just withdraw that liquidity. And you notice here, whenever I have something selected other than 100%, the withdraw and close position button goes away. But you can also, let's say you only wanted to withdraw one of the tokens, for example, the SOL. You can define that and you can say, hey, just give me my SOL. Let's look at this breakdown even further. Give me all the SOL. It's going to pull all out of this particular bin in which there is a small amount of SOL. So it's going to grab a little bit of that fart coin. But you can also just use these little sliders and say, give me just this SOL. Why would you do this? Well, if you think that, say you've been at this for a while, you've been earning some fees, and you think it might dump in a little bit, you're hoping on a pump, but you want to pull out your SOL now, you totally can. Or let's say that, you know what, I'd like to change this into a bid ask. Well, you can totally do that. You can withdraw it this way. So you can define what you want to pull out. Like here, if I was to do this, it would just take all the liquidity out of the center of this position. And again, you can set percentages here even if you'd like. You can say, give me just this liquidity right here. It's a really cool function. I love it. A lot of degens really like this. But for our demonstration, we're just going to go ahead and pull it all out. Whenever you click withdraw and close position, it's going to pull out all the liquidity, claim any unclaimed fees that you may have on this particular position at the time, and close it out. That will give you back your 0.05 or 0.06 SOL that you used required on the blockchain to create that position. So now that's gone, or it will be showing gone here in just a second when the page updates. There we go. So now it's gone. I've withdrawn from that. You do have this nice little button here at the top, withdraw and close all. You can do that to close all of them at the exact same time, which is, I think, really handy. And we'll pull out all of these at once. And the page will update. Let's see. Concerning, I think people are other instructors are answering these questions. Let's see. Did I miss anything, Photon, on the DLMM? I do have a couple things up here that I'm going to show really quick. At the top here, you've got this little gear icon. You can set this to whatever your preferred explorer is. So like if you like Soul Scan to show you transactions or what you've been doing, you can set that. Here you can change your RPC endpoint that you want to use. If you have your own custom one, you can enter that here. I like Helios. It doesn't really matter. why this is important. If Solana has a lot of congestion, it's really bogged down for whatever reason, if you're having trouble, change your RPC endpoint. That may help. But otherwise, it operates the same as any others. This is just, it's kind of like, think of it as like, I'm changing what Wi-Fi I'm connected to. I don't know. I don't really know a better way to explain it, but you can change your RPC there. We also have here the global priority fee, and this has to do with what you are paying or willing to pay for transactions. So priority fee, JITO or JITO tip, or a mix of priority fee and JITO. You have the priority level, which again, this is similar to like swaps. The fee mode, you can say define a max cap here. You say this is the most that I'm willing to pay in SOL for a transaction. So that it's not automatically going to use this much. That's just saying I'm willing to spend up to this amount. So if the transaction required goes above that, it will fail. You can also define an exact fee. If you define exact fee, it's going to spend this much SOL on the transaction every time. There's not a whole lot of reason to do that unless things are like really congested or you just like throwing away money. What works for a lot of people is the mixed and the fast. So you can go with that. You can try just a priority fee if you like. Ideally, you want to spend the least amount of money, right? So find out what works for you. You set these down as low as you can that you can get away with. If you are having trouble getting the transactions to land, it's failing, then you may want to bump up to one of these. So anyway, that's what you do with the global priority fee. I'm just going to set this here, and that's that. There is the notification here. Photon is going to talk about that here in a bit, but that's just to let you notify when you're out of range on a particular position. Let's see. Oh yeah, one-sided. Thank you, Alex. Thank you. One-sided liquidity. Let's show that. So here I want to put in, say, just my I'm going to do what's most common when people are providing one-sided liquidity. That means one token. Most of the time people are using just SOL for this. So I'm going to put in 0.2 SOL into this. And if I do that, it's going to put my entry point here at the top because I can't put SOL above the current price. So it's going to put this in here, all SOL. What a lot of people like to do, and we'll talk about this more in day 2, is they want to DCA into this position. So they'll set it up as a bid ask. The other thing that a lot of people will do is they'll set this up as a mixed strategy. Let's say they want to put in a base layer of spot. And we'll just go ahead and do that. I'm going to set this base layer of spot. Okay, position created. And then I want to put in twice that amount in bid ask. And it is as simple as that, a one-sided position. Yep. So there we go. And of course you can do it the other way. So I'm going to add another position. I'm just going to put all my fart coin here. I'm going to put it into a bid ask. Why would I do this? Well, let's say that I have some conviction or hope or prayers that fart coin is going to pump. So I'm going to set it up in this bid ask right here, one-sided. that I'm hoping it's going to sell all of this or pump all the way up to here, and I'll be selling more of my fart coin at these higher prices than I would at lower prices. Let's say I set it like this just for funsies, because I can see this is where most of the liquidity in this particular pool is. People haven't been putting liquidity out here. They may not seem so confident about this price hitting that far. So why not? We'll set that up. One-sided deposits. So we can see we've got two different bid asks, one-sided, all sold here, and then all fart coin here. What else do I need to show here? Let's see. Okay. Are we ready to move on, Photon?
Sure, we can move on. Get ready for those notifications.
Okay. Go. And we are at 12, or we've got about 25 minutes left.
Alex is saying we forgot about liquidity slippage, so we
No, we didn't.
That. Oh, we didn't.
I showed it.
All right,
You guys
all
weren't
right,
paying attention.
all right. Yeah, I wasn't. I was reading the.
You're all good.
All right. So on to notifications, guys. Notifications can notify you in the app via email or Telegram when a DLMM position is out of range. It will not notify you when it comes back into range. The notification bell icon at the top of the Meteora app is where it's done. It's pretty easy to use. It can take a couple of minutes for notifications to come through, though. It's important to keep an eye on your positions if they are particularly risky tokens.
100%.
Such as fresh meme coins.
Yeah, don't walk away and forget.
Yeah, I've done that too many times. All right, so the difference between LP Army Private and LP Army, it's pretty simple. LP Army Private are the people that are here and graduate bootcamp days 1 and 2. And the LP Army are the people that have contributed to Meteora in significant ways, enough that us moderators recognize you and nominate you to being an LP Army role user.
Yeah. So, if you don't mind, I'll
Sure.
talk about this for a minute. So, this is what a lot of people are here for. You want to scan this code. There are 4 test questions. You must answer at least 3 of those questions correctly. We covered the content today, so you can go find those answers within the content. We will have a Q&A session after the fact, but we're not going to just give the direct answers to any questions. We do not share these forms. There's a reason for that. We want you to attend the course, not just fill out a form. So we're not going to share these forms. You have to use this QR code to get it. Now, the forms are going to be open until 6 p.m. UTC on April 13th. At that time, the forms will close. I'm not going to grade anything until after the forms close. It does take some time to process all of these things. So please be patient. I try and get things done within the week. So just get that there. I'm going to reiterate another point is that you must pass day 1 in order to pass day 2. Now, if you have the bootcamp trainee role from a previous bootcamp and you didn't maybe fully graduate and get the LP Army Private, That's okay. You don't have to submit your day one here. But if you don't have that role, you must submit and pass day one in order to pass day two. I think that's all I really wanted to say on this particular one.
Yep. You covered it.
Yep. So hopefully everybody's scanned that by now. I think we can move on, Photon.
All right. Okay. While there is no MET token yet, eventually it will, and there will be allocations to liquidity providers based off points earned as shown. While there are community tools that estimate the points earned on DLMM, it's only for DLMM and it's not official. So it's only an estimate. There is no date set. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying we will show those community tools tomorrow.
Right. There is no date set for the points program to end or for the MET token generation and airdrop. So it's not too late. Thank God. It's not too late. All right.
I think there's an important point here down at the bottom. There's proposals to modify this particular plan. If you'd like to read about them, go out there to proposals.meteora.ag. You can find this out there talking about bumping it up to 15%. Again, these are all proposals. Feel free to go out there, voice your opinion, or just read, get more information about these things. The points program, you have to think about this. In my opinion, LPing on Meteora is not about trying to farm this, because if that's all you're after, you're going to not get quite as much as you would by getting good at this and earning fees. I can tell you there's a lot of people who came to Meteora. They said, oh, there's some kind of airdrop coming, whatever. They got into it and they learned, and then they realized that, hey, I can actually make some real money here doing this. And then they just look at this as some kind of bonus, cherry on top, what have you. So, but this is what it is. Reiterate this point here, how you earn those points. Deposits into vaults do not earn points. Only dynamic pools and the DLMM earn points. So remember that one.
Yeah, only vaults. Like if you hear vaults, no points. Every pool earns points.
Yep. Farms, like if you deposit an LP token into a farm, that's not earning any points. If you stake on the stake to earn platform, any staking in there is not earning points. It's basically when you are providing liquidity in dynamic pools and the DLMM. And it's very simple. 1 point per $1 of TVL per day and 1,000 points per $1 of fees earned per day. All right. You can move on, Photon.
There we go. Okay, let's take a moment to explain the core roles within the Discord. At the core, we have official Meteora team, and their names are in green. Next, we have our volunteer mods, and their names are in a light green, which I really like. They help with questions and help keep the server clear of scammers, which I love, and such things like that. Also, some work tickets and do other jobs. Mods are not paid for their services. They do this because they love the LP Army and Meteora. Our bootcamp instructors are next. Though they are only listed on the LP Army Discord now, many of the instructors are also moderators. The LP Army are those people who have been recognized as people who have made significant contributions to Meteora, there's no form to fill out to get this role or any specific criteria. It is more an honor bestowed upon you, and members are selected by the moderators. Their color is red. LP Army Private is given to those who complete the graduation requirements for Bootcamp. We do hope that all of you here do graduate. This color is also red. And Bootcamp trainee is given to those who attend and pass day 1 of Bootcamp. Those for trainees are in yellow. So let's move on. Okay, these are the different Discord channels that we have on the Meteora Discord server.
And if I may,
Sure.
these things are constantly changing, and this is just a brief or a small snip of what they are. They're constantly changing, but not so much. This is so Meteora. This is the official Discord. So like if you have a problem, you need to open a ticket, you're at an issue with the product, you can get some info about strategy. This is where you're going to see any particular announcements from the team. This is the Discord for that. We do have some language channels. You go to the international role channel, select that, and you'll get access to that, and you can talk to certain people. We're always trying to add on some of these, but it is limited at this time. And of course, there's several product feedback channels. Your role for Bootcamp trainee, if you pass, an LP Army private pass, are granted first there on the Meteor Discord. You can move on there.
Should move on to LP Army.
Yep.
All right. This is
it's a very.
LP Army. Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
You handle it. You're better at this than me.
It's all right, Philton. You're getting there. So the LP Army Discord, this is the new one. It is run not by the team, but the LP Army community. So discord.gg LP Army, and actually we'll share a QR code directly to that here in a bit. There's a lot of very helpful information here. This is what, if you are looking for tips, what to LP into, a lot of information, you can get that there. There's bots to help you find out what's hot, and all these things. Now, if you earn the LP Army private role, sometime after that's been granted on the Meteora server, you'll be able to transfer that or duplicate it over onto the LP Army Discord. You use the command check roll in the command channel to do that. So this is a smaller but growing community, but it's people helping other people. I think it's been a great addition to everything, but this is a great thing. Now, there is a Bootcamp channels. If you've got questions specific to Bootcamp, that'll be there, and we'll talk about a Q&A session immediately after this live session happening there in a minute. So let's see. Here's a question. I like this. So does activity in LP Army Discord help promote you from the LP Army private in the main Discord? Well, generally speaking, no. If you're looking to get the great honor of LP Army, and to give some context of this, we have well over 15,000 LP Army privates. It's gonna be pushing 20K here real soon. There's just a little bit over 200 people who have the role of LP Army. So, for example, Alex, he created the Metlex tool, lots of things. People see it. He's generated all these tools for the community. He gives it away for free. Geek Lad, he's created, he was one of the OG Bootcamp instructors. He created community tools as well. He was granted this honor. Photon, he's been around for a very long time, helping people, educating people, making some significant contributions. He's getting that. There's other people who maybe they're making a lot of content for free, educational content, and sharing that. They may get that. So it's all about getting recognized for that. But yeah, anyway, mods are always looking. We've got 9 minutes left, so let's go ahead and move on there, Photon. So there's a QR code there for the LP Army Discord. Right after this, as soon as this ends, give us a couple minutes. I'll start up the Bootcamp stage in the LP Army Discord. And this is where you can ask any additional questions about today. The Bootcamp, it's not, if you're going to come in there and ask when Matt or when's the TGE, that's not the place, time or place for that. This is about answering questions for boot camp. So several instructors will be there to help answer those questions for you. Again, give me a few minutes because I go to the bathroom and everything, but that's what that's for. Of course, if you guys have any other questions here, we're happy to answer. Photon, I appreciate you coming today. I know it was your first time. And I appreciate everyone's patience with Photon as he gets his first time. You're naturally Spanish speaker, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, sometimes I get a little stumbled because I'm thinking in Spanish and reading in English, and it's quite a clusterfuck for me because I learned all of my crypto in English. So when it's I don't speak about crypto in Spanish to anyone, so I don't know all the terms in Spanish, and everything that I know is in English, but I think in Spanish.
Yeah. So it's like some Spanglish going on there.
Yes. It messes me up sometimes.
Very good. All right. Well, yeah, bring that dog on stage. Let's go ahead and go to the last slide here. Is there one more? There we go. So there again is the QR code for the Bootcamp resources. You can scan that now. Again, that's just additional reading. There are some, I've posted at the bottom of the document some links to X accounts of people who post educational content. A lot of them are LP Army members. Some good stuff there. I put some slides in these resources about bins. So if you've got more questions about bins, there's some info there. A lot of great stuff. But again, this is here for you. We will be having the questions tomorrow in the LP Army Discord on the Bootcamp stage. So any other questions? Did we miss anything? Alex, did I miss anything? Geek, Gosha. We've got a handful of instructors here. You know what? I'll go ahead and just pop everybody up on stage. Just show you guys. Well, I can't bring up Gosha, but there's Magica. Gosha doesn't have his stuff activated. But anyway, these guys have been here in the background helping out, answering questions. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for showing up and helping out as always. Goats, all these guys, great instructors. some leads, LP Army members, Goose Gang, and so on. Thank you all. Yeah. Let's see. There's Gosha. Hey, Gosha. So.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for the session.
Yep.
Nice as always.
We'll
Okay,
be
guys.
answering questions on Discord.
Yep. I don't see any extra questions, so we'll probably just go ahead and end this. We'll go out with a song and give us a few minutes. We'll start up the bootcamp stage in the LP Army Discord to answer any additional questions you'd like. If you need to be brought up, you want to ask your question on voice, great. If you want to ask it in chat, that's fine. So anyway, thanks again, and we'll see you.